Hi, this is Kevin Thomas, and welcome back to the At Home Film Festival, and welcome to November. This week we're going to take a look at sequels that aren't equals. They should have left well enough alone. I am going to do some high-profile sequels that weren't as good as the original, and some even small budget ones. I will not look at some sequels where I didn't even like the original. Some people actually like Home Alone and Hangover. And I'm not going to look at sequels that most people hated, and yet I actually like. I don't mind Staying Alive, Grease 2, or Speed 2. Don't get mad at me, don't judge. We all have different things we like. So let's take a look at 7 sequels of movies that really did not equal. Little Fockers could just go fuck itself. I'm sorry. Love Barbra Streisand, love Robert De Niro, love Ben Stiller. This third movie in the Fockers series really was not good. And among the cast and crew, there are 9 Oscars. Yes. This movie made tons of money, $300 million worldwide, so it was not a flop, it just wasn't good. It actually took the same material and almost did it again. But you know, sometimes leftovers, no matter how well heated up, just don't taste the same the second day. So sorry, Barbara and Ben and Blythe and everybody. Dustin Hoffman, sorry you had to get fucked. It's not even a fun, bad movie. It just is sort of, ugh. Well, do that with me. Ugh. So anyway, what else do we have? Let's get away from this. Don't start thinking I don't like Ben Stiller because he has 2 movies on this list. But we all have to agree, Zoolander 2 is not a very good movie. Who liked it? Any of you? If you haven't seen it, you can watch it on Amazon Prime for a few dollars. But this and the next movie on our list have the same fate. They were big, giant hits that everybody loved. The whole world won an opening weekend to see the sequel. They made a party of going, and it was bad. It was super bad, even though there are a lot of great stars in this movie and fun cameos. It has the best cast you could ever imagine. They all probably thought they were making Zoolander 1 because Zoolander 2 was really bad. And it wasn't just me that thought so. It didn't make its money back really, and its second weekend it plummeted like over 65% at the box office because word of mouth kind of ruined this movie. Sorry, Ben, I really do like you, but I won't bully you anymore in this show because you made a lot of other good things, so let's go watch those. Really, those. Like Zoolander 1! Why not? This just in, I stand corrected. It wasn't Zoolander 2 that plummeted over 65%. It was Sex and the City 2 on its second weekend. Zoolander 2 only plummeted 62%. But Sex and the City 2, same great cast. We love them. That first movie was amazing. Both, of course, are available on HBO, the home of Sex and the City. But maybe they forgot the word the city because they leave the country and that's where everything goes awry and there's not as good sequel. I mean, I'm sure you're going to be like me. A bunch of my friends got together. We thought, oh, let's go to Sex and the City 2 as a group of buddies. Let's drink Cosmos before the movie. Let's just celebrate this fun film. And we saw it. Yes, we saw it. I don't care that Liza's in it. It's not as good. No, stay away from this sex, please. No. Even low-budget, schmaltzy movies should sometimes just be left alone. The whole world loves the campy classic Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. That was fun, it was bad fun, it was good to laugh at and make fun of. Then they did Return of the Killer Tomatoes. The budget went from $50,000 to $5 million, and that did not add any greatness to it. Yes, this is a low-budget, crappy movie you could watch on Tubi. I included it because it has an Oscar winner in it, starring George Clooney. What? Yes, and it wasn't like George Clooney made this as his first thing in his career. He just wanted money. He'd already been on several successful sitcoms. He was already kind of launched as an early star. So why, George, why? Why did you return with the killer tomatoes? I don't know. And it's not funny at all. The tomatoes actually can become people. There they look like a whole bunch of Rambos, which kind of wasn't a bad moment, but it also ruins it for people that like pizza, because who could put tomato sauce on pizza? So that has to be replaced with other crappy things. Anyway, not a fan. You could watch it just for fun. Not trying to hurt anybody's art, but I don't think a lot of thought went into this. I'm so sorry. Sorry. I'm sorry. Really though, one of the worst sequels ever made is The Exorcist II: The Heretic. That's a scene from The Exorcist. Now we're in The Exorcist II. This movie was so bad, even though it has an Oscar winner and 5 Oscar nominees. It is so bad that when the audience found out that the producers were in the audience at opening night, they got up and yelled at them and really, literally, physically chased them out of the theater. Oh my God, the audiences were that mad at this movie. And just to show you how bad it is, I'm gonna actually show you this preview with its real sound. So let's watch this again. The Exorcist II: The Heretic. Richard Burton, I read that he made this just for the money because he was divorcing Elizabeth Taylor. He needed a paycheck to pay off Liz. So I guess we could blame Elizabeth Taylor for this movie. Thanks, Elizabeth! But let's watch it with the sound just to show how weird this preview is. And if you think the preview is weird, try going to the movie.
4 years ago, The Exorcist shocked the world.
The writer, director, and Ellen Burstyn want nothing to do with this.
Goes on. Exorcist II: The Heretic.
I'm just possessed how bad that preview is. I mean, would that convince you to go to that movie? Didn't convince anybody. Sometimes an actor is so identified with a part that if they don't make the sequel, they shouldn't make the sequel. Unfortunately, the people that did Son of the Mask didn't really follow that theory. Jim Carrey wanted nothing to do with this movie, so they hired the super talented Jamie Kennedy, who's really a good actor. But I mean, look at the big shoes he had to fill. Jim Carrey's, he did not even come close. They say this is a family movie, but it's super violent with weird effects. Alan Cumming, who's a Tony Award-winning actor, has a nice role, and he almost redeems it a little. But it's still not a Jim Carrey movie, and it's not funny at all. It's really disgraceful. It won a lot of awards for worst sequel ever made, worst movie of the year, whatever. No one really saw it. So I guess I'm encouraging you to go to Tubi and judge for yourself. But don't get mad at me, please. For my final film, I was torn between 2 films, so I decided to do them both. So here we have The Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation, also known as Return of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm including this because it has 2 Oscar-winning stars early in their career, Matthew McConaughey, who even says, all right in this film, and Renee Zellweger has 2 Oscars. Now, fun facts about this crappy movie that you could watch on Tubi is, although it's called The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, no one dies by a chainsaw in this film. No one. Not one person. And I love, it was so low budget. There's interesting stories about using a Winnebago to do all the costume changes and makeup. But if you're a sequel to a low budget film that was a giant hit, shouldn't you have money from that film to invest in the sequel? Don't get it. But really, it's not so good. Watch it on Tubi. And here's the one it tied with, just to make the list. Titanic 2. Yes! Titanic 2. I know there was a YouTube sensation of a fake preview of the sequel to Titanic, but there actually is a movie called Titanic 2. This movie says it's not a sequel, but the ship is actually named Titanic 2. It's 100 years later, so we're not going to see Jack and Rose at all. And it's written and directed and co-starring Shane Van Dyke, Dick Van Dyke's grandson. So he actually owns the shipping company. He's going to get on the boat. He has this entourage of 4 girls. Shortly, like after this scene, all of a sudden there's only 3 girls. Did one jump ship because she read the script? I don't know. But this movie isn't really bad. It's just not good. So they should have learned from the mistakes from the first Titanic. I don't mean the movie makers, I mean the ship company. Because here it is 100 years later, technology should have improved. So this Titanic really should stay afloat. And if they're concerned about it, why do it when it's snowy with icebergs? I mean, do it in the summer or some other time it's not icebergs, right? Right? Anyway, it's not a horrible movie. It's just not good. The thing that really makes me not like it is the fact that they say they're not a sequel, yet it's called Titanic 2. But the first movie at least had character development where we got to learn about Rose and Jack and Molly and her mean, awful boyfriend and that old couple, the people in steerage. This, you hardly get to meet any characters, so when the ship starts going down, just like 100 years earlier, you don't really care as much about loss of life. I mean, of course you care because there are people, but it's not like there's someone you're rooting for. There was one moment, maybe it's just me, but when the captain says, put in your life vest, they focus on this one woman who's just standing there frozen. I thought she was going to care in the moment and say, I don't need to wear a life vest. Who's going to force me to? This is not real, blah, 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 blah. Actually, that didn't happen, but that would have been fun. Anyway, those are my 7 shows of the week. I love comments. Please go below and give me some. And a thumbs up would be so nice. I'm getting so few lately, but I get like a good number of viewers. You just not caring enough to thumbs up. And, oh, speaking of viewers, I'm getting more subscribers. So please subscribe. And don't forget to share. Anyway, can't wait to come back with some quality next week. Thanks for being here. I will see you next week. Bye-bye. And don't ever go down with the ship, even if you're Oscar nominee Bruce Davidson. Thank you. Bye-bye. Ooh, bergs.